Okay, let's talk about something that can be incredibly painful. Have you ever felt like you were just a pawn in someone else's game? Today, we're going to dive into that tricky, confusing world of relationships that aren't really about love, but are just about passing the time.
So, why? Why do some people do this? It's a question that can seriously mess with your head and leave some deep scars. To even begin to understand it, we've got to look at this whole emotional game from two totally different sides. You've got the player, the one holding all the cards, and then you have the person whose heart is being gambled with.
All right, so first up, let's try to get a handle on the rules and, the real motivations behind this very damaging game. You see, for the player in this story, this whole cycle of seducing someone and then just abandoning them, it isn't some one-time mistake. It's a habit. It's an activity that, believe it or not, brings them actual pleasure, almost like an addiction they just have to feed.
And this is where it gets really telling. The motivation, it's not about finding a real, genuine connection. Nope, it's all about ego. It's about the thrill of the chase, about collecting people like trophies to brag about later. It reduces human beings to nothing more than just a number on a personal scorecard.
Okay, but what's the real cost of this so-called game? To get that, we've got to flip the script and focus on the person who's on the receiving end of all this emotional manipulation.
And we're not just talking about a little temporary heartbreak here. The impact is a deep wound that can seriously derail someone's entire life. That precious time they invested, it's gone forever, and the emotional fallout can lead to really serious depression and just a complete sense of being lost.
And this right here, this gets to the absolute core of the damage. It's not just about losing trust in that one person. The betrayal can actually poison their ability to trust anyone. Every new person they meet, every potential connection is suddenly seen through this lens of suspicion. It makes it incredibly hard to build healthy, happy relationships down the road.
So what in the world is going on inside the head of the person who's causing all this chaos? When you put their experiences side by side, well, the difference is pretty shocking. I mean, just look at this. The contrast is staggering, right? On one side, you have this life-altering trauma, a broken heart, a derailed life. And on the other side, it's just a casual pastime. It's fun. There's no serious thought, no commitment. The emotional weight is completely, totally one-sided.
And this really boils down to a super important distinction. Their actions aren't coming from a genuine zarudat, which is like a need for love and connection. No, they come from chahat, a selfish want, a want for satisfaction, for an ego boost, no matter who gets hurt in the process.
But here's where the story takes a turn. See, the game doesn't always go the way the player plans. There's often this common, almost karmic twist waiting for them. It's kind of a classic case of irony, isn't it? The person who spent years playing with other people's emotions eventually gets caught in their very own trap. The hunter, as they say, becomes the hunted.
And it's wild how it plays out. It's almost like a script. They start their usual game with someone new, but this time, something's different. They actually fall for the person, and they fall hard. And when you know it, the person they fall for happens to be a mirror image of their old self. Someone who's just playing the exact same game they perfected.
And man, the experience is just devastating. It's as if they are squeezed dry of all their emotion and value and then just casually tossed aside. For the very first time, they are forced to feel the full crushing weight of the pain that they so easily handed out to so many others.
So, okay, they've had their heart broken. They've finally felt that pain for themselves. Where do they go from here? This is the real test, the ultimate turning point.
You see, going through that kind of pain, it forces you to a fork in the road. It forces a moment of serious self-reflection. But what happens next? Well, it's not guaranteed. There are two very, very different paths they can take.
For some people, feeling that pain firsthand creates real empathy. They finally get it. It clicks. They understand just how much their actions hurt people, and they make a conscious choice to change, promising themselves they'll never, ever inflict that kind of suffering on another person again.
But then you have the others. And for them, their ego just can't take the hit. Instead of learning a lesson, they get hardened, they get bitter. Their reaction is basically, how dare someone do this to me? And they double down, becoming even more cynical and destructive, seeking a weird kind of revenge on a world they feel has wronged them.
Which really just leaves us with this one big idea, doesn't it? Whether you want to call it karma or cause and effect or just how people work, this story suggests that the energy you put out into the world, good or bad, it has a funny way of finding its way right back to you. The real question is, when it does, what kind of person are you going to become?